discussed. I wish, again, before this meeting took place, that you had addressed this with me.
No, I think
It's
it should
it's
be
a matter of fact that you've been holding on to this for 44 days, and I haven't been contacted once
Yeah,
from
let's
any
go-
of you.
Let's go back to
So
that.
all of a
Wait
sudden
minute.
now, you want me to tell you what the source of one page is,
Actually,
which I will be happy to do,
Peter,
but give me an opportunity to look at what you're referring to and go back and retrieve it and show it to you. Chances are it was taken from the Treasure Coast official webpage. Did you make an effort to look at their website and see if the document's available there?
I reviewed what was put in last year.
Did you review the,
No, I
Treasure
didn't have,
Okay.
I have what
it's a
was submitted
document that
last
may
year.
be available on their official page,
okay.
easily obtained from
And what I'm
there.
saying is the final one, but for your knowledge, the final one's inconsistent.
That's what I thought.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Now,
Thank you very
now the DCA received recommendations from a whole host of agencies,
They did.
many of which found it consistent.
And you did.
I find it odd that you would mention one
Well,
that
but
found it
Peter,
inconsistent.
I'm just
Peter,
listening to her.
the reason I asked about it is because it's the only one that's in your attachments.
I
That's
will-
why I asked about it.
I
I
will-
don't see a DCA report.
will-
I asked about the one that I was attached.
Part of-
Thank you.
Part of that report was a letter that you had written also to the Treasure
Which I'm
Coast
entitled to write as a citizen
opposing
in
the
this
very
country.
application before you.
Right.
That was part of it too.
But why didn't you include it?
I didn't include that.
Why?
It's my decision, right?
Correct.
Right.
Thank you.
In there, you criticized that adequate public hearings weren't held.
That was my opinion.
That the town in some way didn't follow Florida laws governing public meetings regarding an application like this. Is that still your opinion? Are you saying that the town did something wrong?
No.
Peter, are you
Excuse
saying,
me, wait a minute.
are you
If I, wait a
saying
minute. I'm losing my patience, and I'm sorry. Isabella, you are not a party to this hearing at this point, and I would appreciate that you be quiet.
Excuse me, I'm a citizen.
no,
And no, the
the
public portion of
public
the
hearing
meeting
is
is
over.
I don't want to hear it
I'm sorry, I
anymore.
have Tourette's, and every now and again I
The
have to
public
shout.
hearing is closed.
Thank you.
This
I
is-
just laughed, sorry.
And
All right,
Peter,
keep it to
Peter,
yourself. You're interrupting. You're
Peter.
interrupting.
Peter, from what you were saying,
I can hear you, Chairman.
from what you're saying, this document here is just excerpts from the original. is
That's
it?
not what he said. He said it was the one that he took from the site. That's what he said.
But
This
certain
is-
bits are, parts are.
This is an
But
excerpt.
it's different than what we had, what I had in front of me, which was part of his past application.
The one on the site that got typoed.
I don't know.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
I can't debate that. I don't want to debate that. It's not my, I didn't
Okay.
prepare the application, so it
I
was just a
also-
question I had.
I also understand that the town got multiple copies of that report at various times during our application process. If I recall correctly, Mr. Taylor, one of those reports may have been received on August 5th, and another one was received in October. So the difference may be in the, one version was received earlier and one later. I'm not sure, but the town did receive multiple copies of the same report at various stages.
I think
And as
one,
I said, there's no date on the one that you've included in your attachment, so that's fine. I did, because we can't tell that then. That's okay.
okay, anything that?
Yeah, I'm not done yet. No,
Right.
I'm not done. I have, just a couple of comments to make, and based on the application, my major question coming tonight was what was significantly different between this proposal and your last proposal a year ago? You've answered that question. There is no there's no difference. You've stated they're identical. And that was really what I wanted to know, so thank you.
So you haven't raised any issues regarding the application before you? Your only question basically was...
My
the
question
source-
was, what was the,
source
so one document which I was confused on, and my other question was, what was significantly different this time than last time? And you answered that in your opening remarks.
Other than that, you have no questions or concerns regarding the application?
I didn't say that, I said I've answered the questions of which I had.
Peter,
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 stop.
So
Peter.
That's the only comment I'm making.
So you
Thank
may have issues,
Peter,
but you're not.
Miss Robinson has answered your question.
You may have
Please.
issues then that you're not prepared to share
I'm not,
with the
I
applicant.
did not
No.
say that. No, I did not say
Peter,
that.
please
You're
don't
putting
put
my
words
mouth.
in people's
Stop.
mouths.
Mr. Biggs, how as the applicant am I expected to address Ms. Robinson's issues if she won't share with
I didn't
me
say I
what they
had
are?
issues. I told you what my
You didn't have
issue
any
was.
issues, and it would be all much better, it would be more civil and less confrontational.
Thank
A lot
you.
more confrontation.
Thank you.
Make sure she.
Okay. Pat, Miss Shulman, you've been very quiet tonight.
I'm just very glad that I do not have a college education. I do not have a real estate license. Because
Congratulations.
this is, I personally feel that, that the different reports that came in, that we've seen them before and whatever, and basically, if a lot of you might not realize that are now in the audience tonight, that this started out, I think, was 14 or 16 stories or whatever. We sat through a long time at that. And then Mr. Mead made a made a comment one night, and I seconded it, and that was, to do as tall as the tallest building. Now, for those of you that know me, you know that I've been here for 26 years. And I remember the Hawaiian very well, and I also walk the ocean every single Terry day. And you can begin to see that the building that is across the street, that is our main tax fund, is over 50 years of age. And as long as, this is just my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with what was put in, because it's basically what we have read over and over again. And I feel that it was answered tonight by the town attorney about the 99 rooms. And I was thinking to myself when this discussion was going on, my God, wouldn't the Palokas be delighted if they ever had 99 rooms full at all one time, which I don't think will ever happen. And we've heard enough traffic studies over the time. And I feel that maybe some of you ought to sit back and think about something. We are a very small town, and Palm Beach is just north of us. And if those of you who read the shiny sheet, there was many discussions in there about knocking down the Publix, because God forbid they should get people from West Palm Beach, etc. My point is that the Publix is now going to be knocked down, and it's going to be replaced, even though Palm Beach has been so and so and so and so for such a long time, the same as South Palm Beach. Maybe some people ought to stop and think that an improvement like this is equal to different things that are occurring in other times, because time has gone by and different things will add to what the whole basis of the town looks like. There are many codes, there are different things that buildings have to be kept up and whatever condominiums I'm talking about, and that this might add to what the attraction of what your town has. It's not what it started out to be. I think that they had, been trying to comply and go down to a different size and less large. And I also feel that I was thinking about all the blah blah I've heard for months and years with this, is the fact that, for example, for many years, A1A didn't have the dune deck, didn't have La Ponce, didn't have this, didn't have that, like the gentleman said before. But when 3600, the last condo to be built on a residential, what turned to be a residential, that used to be a motel there, I never heard, I come to every meeting since I've lived in town, and I never heard anybody in the dune deck or in the Mayfair complain about the dirt and dust and whatever, nor the Southgate didn't complain, or anybody else about the construction being done. And a lot of people didn't want to have that condominium built. They wanted to make a park and this and that, and it turned out to be a very nice, nicely constructed building, and that adds more taxes, and the people seem to be very nice in there. And I think that it's about time that a lot of you started to think about that, the fact that time moves on, and maybe it's time for a nice improvement in town. If it's good enough for Palm Beach to put a new Publix in, I certainly think it's good enough for South Palm Beach residents to start to think about putting in a new hotel. And as far as when the gentleman mentioned the letters before, I am who I am. I'm an Irish you-know-what. And when those letters were had been coming in and blah, 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 I took the time to come in to the town. I went through the letters one by one and, and look, there were some duplicates that were against it. Not the ones who were for it, they were ones that were against it. But those letters were legitimately there. They weren't made up. And I think that I also remember reading someplace that it was looked at by different law firms and whatever. And we're going to hopefully get some kind of beach breakwaters or some such, and let's hope to God that maybe our beach will grow like Palm Beach's has and Reach 8 has grown right now. And I just think that when I came on the planning board, I was not in favor of 16 in my head, but I came in here with an open mind, and I listened carefully to every meeting, and I think that this is what has to be. You have to stop and think of what's best for the town as a whole, not your own individual preference. Thank you.
Chairman Bernard, may I address some of the points that Member Schulmeyer just made?
Sure.
With respect to the support for the project, it's important to note that to analyze and accurately compile all of the data reflecting opposition to the proposed project, applicant engaged Rampal and Rampal CPAs, a firm with absolutely no prior connection to the applicant, but one with an impeccably professional reputation. This CPA firm came into Town Hall and retrieved documents from the town clerk, and in those documents there were a total of 1,029 residents of our town that expressed their position on what was being proposed. And what was being proposed then was larger than what's being proposed now. Of those 1,029 residents, over 71%, or 733 of them, expressed support for the proposed redevelopment of the Palm Beach oceanfront end. These aren't our stats. This analysis was done by a CPA firm out of Palm Beach, from records that were obtained from the town clerk. That is the most complete and comprehensive analysis in 4 years that was done with regard to where the residents of our town stand on this proposal.
I would like to make a comment on that since you bring it up. Once again, you trot out that well-worn myth that the citizens of South Palm Beach embrace the commercial redevelopment of this property. You say that's 70% or 700 and
Chairman
something.
Avard, I don't say, the records do.
Right, it's in, yes, all right, the records say this. In fact, the